record. Okay, now I see a number going. Oh, I'm speaking. Okay, now we can sit inside for the time being, so we make sure that we'll guard it.
The motor is making a noise. Yeah, it has a wind filter.
I actually have a windsock.
There's too much going on.
No. You said the context of this dictionary is pretty special. It is. I like the simplicity of it too. English dictionary.
He just loved simplicity, and he was doing so many other artist things. This is his marble paper, right? So that's what he did.
You mean that was his design? Well, very cool.
So you'll find all these on every tissue box in the world, right? It's just he knew how to do stuff.
And how did he make?
So people copied his stuff endlessly.
And because this was obviously well before computers, that he wasn't.
Yeah, so he was a professional marbler, and he would make his own. This is done with nails.
How so? How?
Well, because you make a comb of nails, just take a piece of wood, bang all these nails through, and then take it across the marbling liquid. So he had a professional way of doing this, and then he upgraded every year. And then it was a rack of nails, which was on a gimbal, on a grid system with wheels, and then he developed this thing so it would make a perfect strike.
Fair.
And then he'd use another thing where it would make a perfect strike, and then it would move over a notch, and then it would go back again.
Sounds like something you have to film. I'm looking, Wayne. I think they're
coming back.
No.
Oh, well, we just had a car park here, so.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, we'll give it some time. I mean, you're not going to run out of film.
No.
You know what is interesting?
Well, it's the first film. Film is free, right?
You know what?
I'm always thinking, it costs money. No, it doesn't cost absolutely anything.
Little energy. The thing we missed too that was changing, which might still come, is the clouds were coming too, and so there was times when the shadows were gone, the shadows changing, the little movement of the leaves.
Yeah,
I just find it's really the unexpected too. Though here we parked here facing without a plan, and look at that. To me, that's the wonder of it. and the film, Wayne, it's going to be called "Where's Peter?" Isn't that a good title?
Yeah. Peter lost Peter.
Where's Peter? Okay, okay. Random. I think here's what we'll do. We're gonna play random word. Build. Construct or erect by successive additions: house, nest, ship, carriage, organ, engine, fortune. A system, empire, reputation.
Fortune. That's all I can do is fortune.
Empire, reputation, house or nest for oneself.
Yeah,
of specified as part of structure enclosed with walls or houses.
It's such a simple word.
It goes on. Wow. Okay, here, pick one, Wayne.
Does it have politics in there too?
Okay, you want to pick a word? Random?
Oh, gee. Random. We'll start around the middle. Okay. There's lots of bad ones.
No, it's just sort of whatever the first one catches your eye.
Well, I got malaise.
Oh. Well, okay, the bird's back in the tree.
Malaise. It sort of sounds like mayonnaise. If you use too much mayonnaise, it can make you feel kind of groggy. And I know the mayonnaise in the fridge just ran out.
This is linking to shopping, it sounds like. I did see one bird at least go on the tree. They're starting to, I think, recolonize. You see, there's a couple.
Well, like I said, we can bait them and they'll come back.
I know, but that just somehow doesn't feel quite the same.
So yeah, we got, like I said, we got flowers in November.
Yeah,
who would have thought?
I think you should eat your muffin. Let me have a look, Wayne. The book, since you're.
You can find a better one. I found a bad one. But I did go for the middle, right?
No, there's not judgment. I'm just first word. Oh, as you're eating, regurgitate.
You found a bad one too.
Gush back, in brackets, of stomach or receptacle. Pour out or cast up again. Don't do that. This isn't my car. Regurgitate. I love it. We're looking at birds and we're talking regurgitate, which of course some birds do.
Some, all.
Yeah. All will not. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm taking another one. H-bomb. Wow. Hydrogen bomb.
H-bomb.
Yeah.
Well.
Him, possibly they, the male person or animal in question. Oh, no, I've gone to he.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's not H-bomb.
I switched. It just says H-bomb, hydrogen bomb, H for hydrogen.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I got to do one more because that's somehow. Oh, a Q. Quack. Harsh sound made by ducks. Or talk loudly and foolishly. There we go.
That comes full contrast there, yes. Quack.
Would you like?
When did you see the quack?
I know the quack. I like this. So, I won't. I appreciate you bringing the book. I'm not going to keep it now until I'm ready to actually do something.
Drive right into our tripod now.
Yeah. No, I know you're a little nervous. How'd you lose a new camera? Car ran it over.
Hey, you know that camera has a level on it too. It gives on the visual. It gives you a level. It's like
does it do it automatically? Or you're saying you can set it with the tripod? It's not.
No. With the image, it tells you that you're off kilter. Which is very, very funny.
So wait, are you talking when it says off kilter? Is it speaking about me personally?
It's talking about.
Should I take it personally?
It's just saying, dude, get it together. It's like,
dude, you're off.
Help me be level here.
Off kilter. No. Is it in here?
Sure it is.
Okay, well.
I read it.
Did you? Yeah. You remember? Do you remember all of it? Opium, Olympus.
Can I put this for the record?
Yes.
It was my bedtime reading.
No, for how long?
Oh, geez, for at least half a year.
Whoa! Did it work? Get you to sleep quickly?
No, I just felt I didn't know enough words.
Oh, but see, there you can read. I could read this and not necessarily retain it.
I couldn't retain it either.
Okay.
That was the whole point. Was that we don't learn by retention in our belief of retention. We learn by serendipity of having the things put in front of us. So just because we don't remember it doesn't mean we don't use it. I think it all comes back.
We remember it on some level?
Just like commercials. We remember it on some level.
Well, odoriferous, you would remember.
Yes.
Fragrant or stinking.
Started this morning.
Yes. What was the word I was looking? Off-putting?
Off kilter.
Off kilter. See, I forgot already. See, my word retention is bad. So would it be... It's not all one word, is it?
It'll be in there, I'm sure. Be a bit under off. Or kilter.
Okay, off. Official. Off.
I think they put all the what are they called, co-joined words.
Maybe, okay, here, I'll start at the beginning of off.
Well, it'd be under kilter, I guess, but kilter would be kind of weird.
Oh, yeah. No, but, wow. Offensive offer. Office. Now here's an officer, huge list for that.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, it's important, isn't it?
No, I'm not finding off kilter. Okay, wait, I'm going to do one more random because this sort of suits me. Die. One of the cubes with sides marked. Used in games of chance, dice play.
Mm-hmm.
Decision is irrevocably made, the die is cast.
Nice.
Yeah, cookery, small cubes of meat, bread, to plural, coining or embossing stamp. So this is all, well, where's the die as in death? Oh, here. I'm going to skip down. Cease to live. That's die. Quit life.
That's blunt.
Be killed. Lose or sacrifice one's life. Be so-and-so at death. What?
So-and-so.
Be so-and-so at death? Can you explain that?
So-and-so.
Have a specified death. Grow indifferent or insensible to. Languish with desire for thing or to do. come to an end, or disappear, or be forgotten, or fade, or be extinguished.
Okay.
Laugh to bursting point.
Die laughing.
Yes. Weapon and etc. For friend or object to an emotion or interest. A beggar, a hero, a glorious or dog's death. Never say, refuse to despond. Am dying for a sight of you. To go to the opera. A dying fire.
Go to the opera.
Custom. The secret. Die with him. The family. Off. It goes on.
That's a lot. That's a lot of dying.
Yeah. Well, I could see why you would read this at night. I'm reading some other... I'm reading actually Underland, which is really... It's really about exploring... I'm at the very beginning, but it's in sort of some caves in England in this case, but it's... It really is another world, and he's talking about it in a way, not just the physical way, but how the loss of time, and that it's its own specific time that is very different from what we grasp above ground.
Oh, gee, yeah. Well, I've been going down that route myself. It's like, what is time? I play with all these ideas, right? The concept of... We know now that the planet spirals after the sun, right? So I was trying to figure out why we have 365 days a year. And in understanding natural math, math without a zero, it should be 360 days a year. So where did the extra 5 days come from? And this is a question I was putting to myself yesterday. I was like, well, I think I found it. The reason is because we're in a spiral, and we're in a spiral of time after the sun. And as we converge back into the sun, we lose time. We gain time, it speeds up, right?
It's beyond my grasp, Wayne.
Well, we're compressing, we're going closer and closer to the sun as we go around. So if we're going closer, converging into the sun, that means time is speeding up. Kind of makes sense?
Kind of.
Okay.
But we're going to die soon?
No, not at all. No, we're talking billions of years, but this is, we lose the time of 5 days a year.
Not 5 days a year.
5 days.
Yeah.
65 days a year. But why is it 365? Well, because it should be 360. Because 360 is the natural math. It's the progression of threes. So if we have the progression of threes, we understand that it should be 360. Then we know that we lose 5 days a year.
And then where do you go with that?
Well, nowhere. Basically, it's just a knowledge of why things don't work. We know the frequency of our crystals give us this frequency according to what we have as a time module. The seconds frequency of crystal, of quartz, right, is what we use for our seconds, right? It gives us a pulse. It gives us a pulse for time. It's perfectly accurate. It can't be not accurate.
So this quartz watches.
It's the quartz watch. It gives us... we have atomic time. We have all these beautiful ways of measuring time. But we don't understand why it speeds up. And this is Einstein was trying to figure this out too. So it was just like, we're converging. But you see, what Einstein didn't know is that we're in a spiral, because we were linear. We always thought the planet was going around in a linear fashion, flat. We had linearity. But in fact, we're going in a spiral means that we don't have linearity. This is why we can't get from A to B.
It's not elliptical?
Yeah, sure, it's elliptical, but it's just we go in a spiral. So every time we go in a spiral, we come closer and closer to the sun. And then in the convergence would be that time would change as we do that.
So Wayne, I just want to give you a contrast. So you were thinking about that yesterday, and my thoughts go, oh, what do I have for lunch? Oh, hey, look at that. Oh, Oh, what'll I have for lunch? Oh, look there.
So you never got to B. That's what I'm saying. A to B, we never get there. We want B to be really important.
But it works for some things, right?
Yes.
Like that huge. I try and rein in my distraction. I'm more conscious now because it drives some people crazy,
yes.
Including maybe myself.
Yeah.
But also, it's limiting in some ways and very helpful in others. So in creative pursuits where it's not non-predictable.
So where is Peter?
You'll have to watch a movie.
So Peter was B. We never got to B. That's what
right.
I'm saying. So we shouldn't worry about it. It's like you're like.
Well, you said the triangulation. So Peter is B. You and me A and C.
We already have our triangulation because we have a video player there.
Oh yeah.
And we had a recording here, and we've already completed the project.
Okay. So Peter, sorry Peter, we don't need you. You can be as late as you want. You're done. But you will.
He just doesn't know how to play. He didn't come into
me.
play. He could have been in the back seat right now. He decided that
it is warming up.
It is warming up. I'm starting to get warm.
Yeah. Feel free to eat your muffin, Wayne. You can eat in the car.
I'm worried about
the
car driving into my camera.
I know. I have
all alone out there.
I have good peripheral.
my $2,000 camera is just.
I know. That would be a real sad end. I think I've got some pillows in the back. Should I spread them around it?
No.
And I'm looking. Let's just see how much longer because
there's no birds. Mm.
Well, there's been a couple, and I like the movement of the leaves and the flowers. I mean, there's something that is such a beautiful to me. Just a still. If I was, I could happily take a still too. But I think with the.
But do you think it'll look good in the Heritage Playhouse on the big screen?
Oh, well, of course, and it'd be sold out because people want to sit and look at a tree changing. I think. Well, actually, are you okay to keep it going till spring? I do want to see when they bud again.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put it on time lapse.
An energy saving mode.
Yeah.
Time lapse might work. So it actually just looking at these flowers, I joke that. Oh, they're probably artificial. Here we are near the end of November, and it's cosmos and a couple others. Still surprising, but I was reading. I just finished Saul Bellow book, and he's a world.
You can force anything in life to change, right? It's like if you want it to do its thing, you just force it, right?
Right. Or you make it. Okay, wait. Let's watch this car, Wayne. Do not park there. Good.
They're going to park right in front.
Yeah, they do. Actually, this is good in passing too. So this world-class botanist, he was gaining reassurance from a plant that was in another room, an azalea. And it was only after weeks of him gaining reassurance from this plant that he found out it was artificial. And it kind of
a bit of a downer?
Yeah. It knocked him out because here he is, this world-renowned. He knows plants intimately. He has this rare, intimate relationship that maybe no one else in the world has.
And he was doing it with plastic.
And he was fooled by a plastic azalea. So it sort of threw him, but it changed. It caused him to reevaluate his life at that point.
I think you had to go to the washroom after that.
Yeah. In the end, I think it did work out. So.
Oh, good.
But I'm willing to bet that these aren't plastic.
As I said, it was just, you just got to sprinkle it with a bit of force and it will pop up. Yeah. And it will believe that it's got to do its thing.
Are you finding the tree, like the setting and the tree and the wall as visually appealing as I am? Or I can't say as I am. Are you finding it of interest?
I can see the romance in it totally. I can totally see the romance.
It's like the tree beside it.
It's a framed picture.
Yeah. Yeah, and the background is so perfect for it because the way the shadows, when you look...
We do have a nice sky too, but that's not in there.
Well, yeah, and not... I think, I should look at the frame, but I think I included a bit of the sky.
Yeah, no, and
like
just looking over here, there's some interesting stuff.
Yeah, but that's where the shadow...
That's life, right? It's just like
but we don't have to see the sky because this changing sky is being told by the shadow.
Yeah.
As the shadows are getting marginally longer, and if we keep this going about 8 hours, I think that will really...
Okay.
Yeah. So but you're going to have to move your car here.
The audience won't sit there for 8 hours. I know that.
We'll edit it down to 5.
They'll probably leave after about 3 minutes.
Well, that's being generous, I think. Now I'm going to do a time check because I'm just kind of curious, Peter. Oh, it's just after 10. So if he doesn't show up to open the store,
we have to open for him.
I think so. Okay. Well, I think it's still Peter's film. We're gonna call because it's due to him that we're here. Part.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
But here's the word I looked. How perfect. Remorse.
Remorse.
Bitter repentance. Compunction. Reluctance to inflict pain. Filled with repentance. Deaf to compassion. Wow. This is great. Okay, wait. It's telling a story here. I'm just going to continue one more. Faint. Dim, pale, or faint lines of paper ruled for writing. Weak from hunger, etc. Timid. Sudden loss of consciousness. Heart, coward, hearted, timid.
And you know what? We believe when we look on Wikipedia online that we get all the information we need.
Peter.
Yes, he's there.
Peter, we're busy right now.
Oh, yeah, we have an interview.
Yes, sorry, go ahead.
So when we go on Wikipedia, we believe it. And I'm looking on Wikipedia and I'm saying, wow, they're really missing a lot of content here. And I know in my heart there's stuff missing, but I'm not going to go look it up. But it becomes so apparent we're missing so much online that we do have in real life in the possibility of knowledge.
But you're making choices the same way. Whether you're looking online or who you associate with or what you read.
Well,
you could argue, yes, the information is all there, everything is there, but
we look for understanding, right? And the little word pops up, we don't quite understand it. We Google it and we look at it, but we don't always get the full story, and that's quite shocking to me. Not only that, but we actually get the wrong story. Some of the words that are being proliferated in our context of contemporary society are put in such a constrained manner that you can totally misinterpret it.
But in this dictionary, for example, are you getting the...
This is a more honest version because these are the literal geniuses that came up with the format for how to study the words in the first place.
But how do you know you're getting the complete word here? This is one...
Well, that's why they put so many versions in so that you can form your own opinion. It's a journalistic approach, right?
Sorry, there was an interaction there. They went by, looked... What is that camera doing there?
You read their lips too. Yeah.
But they didn't stop, which is good. No. They didn't block the scene.
No.
Well, I'm just looking. Oxford University Press. Okay. So, because there's...
Well, there's Oxford and Cambridge, right? So the two competing universities that wanted to obtain the highest knowledge on the planet. So
wait what's your... Oh. Make sure he doesn't steal the camera.
He knows better.
What the fuck? What are you looking at? That's what he's saying.
That's especially part of the good shot there.
It was. See, this is it. Wayne, it's just... But he didn't even pause. I might have just looked and said, what the hell? Wayne, quick question. What's your middle name?
Adam.
Adam.
Yeah.
You're the Adam? Very nice. It's great. Well, thank you for sharing that. I won't torture you with picking out more words now.
Oh, it's fun.
It is. This is. I think we've discovered a new thing.
Yeah, sure. We can go further. We'll call it. So I used the. Peter did some little few things about what we could do as a talk, and so I used the Sunshine Toast theme again.
Yeah.
And I forgot I used it before, right? Didn't I use it before?
Did you?
I said we'd call the event Sunshine Toast or something like that, and then do the toast as a proliferation.
I just remember it on your glass, of course.
Yeah, on the glass. I did it on the glasses, and then I think I suggested it at Maurice's, and I said, yeah, it'd be kind of nice to do a toast, right? And we didn't really do a toast, but we had that's where the idea came from, was that we had this little bit of alcohol. And he was treating us to this thing, and I was thinking, yeah, that fits in with toasting.
Sometimes, yeah.
So it was the event of how the talk we'd participate and use our context of our where we live as the Sunshine Coast and the Sunshine Toast, the marriage of the two. And
how did you see beginning? Did you have something in mind?
No, just to carry on with the theme. That theme seemed really appropriate to do this kind of gig, where we'd have the adventure of not knowing what the hell we're doing, but it would end up in some interesting context. That's all.
Like
a tree and birds,
and sitting in a car, and it's actually warmed up,
and being being let down.
But it will be interesting now. Maybe Peter won't be in the mood for sharing. I don't know, but that sharing that, okay, what transpired was 100% different than we visualized, because we couldn't have visualized.
Because I know that we can never get to B. That's the A to B the scenario. That's like, why would we even bother?
Yeah. Well,
it's like you have to deal with the time that you have in front of you rather than constantly worry about the thing that didn't happen.
Well, and I'm thinking about like I didn't have interview questions, Wayne. You can be sure of that.
Well, I just put it forward to you so you had a chance to actually participate, but it doesn't matter because we always talk anyway. So it was just it really bears no relevance on our capability.
Well, I was going to ask. I guess one thought.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the beginning. In the beginning.
Why am I wearing this jacket?
In the beginning. Well, yeah, we're not. Does he see us here?
No. He's not going to see us.
He's into function mode.
Yeah, whatever happened.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, it's totally. It's totally fine.
Did you want to borrow this?
Well, not now. I don't want to keep it.
Okay.
No, because I'm not ready to do still life yet.
Oh, I thought you were going to photograph it or something.
Well, I'm thinking it with a group of others.
Okay.
So
it's fun. We'll keep it going because it's actually a good talking point, isn't it?
I think it's great.
It's like we could pull that one on anyone.
I think it's magical what comes, because again, that random. It's a bit of an art performance in the sense of the random words.
Yeah.
But no, I was going to start very, very. And by the way, I gave it about a minute's thought.
Okay, that's good.
Very directional.
It's important. I'm that bad.
And actually, it's how fitting. Adam,
you got a whole minute.
Adam, I was going to say in the beginning.
You're not greedy.
How was it in the beginning? Yeah, might have been 55 seconds if I'm going to be honest, because I didn't want to think about it too much because that would make me nervous.
How nervous do you think I feel? It's like I was thinking, shit, what am I doing this for? It's like. It's like I'm putting myself on the spot here in my own crucifixion, even. Well,
but there's joint. I'll be up there too. We can both be, and here maybe we can crucify you on this tree right here, and we'll conduct the interview. Okay, Wayne, climb up that tree. We won't nail your hands this time. No, what did in the beginning?
So what was this? This is the minute now?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Well, no, I
Give
didn't.
me the minute of your thoughts.
Oh, you don't want that. It's the equivalent of 1 second. It was really just start almost chronological, not from like earliest infancy, but
you're going to test my memory.
Well, it's your memory. It's not a test because only you know it.
Okay.
I won't verify it. How's that?
Thank you. You can't Google it.
Now, don't go back to when you bit into that apple you shouldn't have bit. Start somewhere ahead of that. So what I'm thinking, I think of music, I think of visual, I think of engineering. How do these things come together in Wayne's brain? Or in Wayne's person? I don't want to say brain.
Well, first I have to get out the door.
Yeah, that's... well, you have enough presence. You're not one of those abstracted science. You've got your pants on. You've got your shirt on. You
rolling around, yeah.
Yeah, you brought everything.
My pants too tight.
I'm going to have a little bit of nothing. But what, like, engineering seems removed from other things you do.
Okay, I could start with that. The process of engineering and being a mechanic was my passion.
Actually, car mechanic, kind of?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just mechanics generally.
Mm-hmm.
I just love things that move and how they work. And so I'd use bits of wire or whatever just to make mechanical things work. I remember when I was very, very young, I built a scale measure to weigh the weight of a spider.
Wow! Now, what was the thought process? You said, this seems near impossible. I want to try it?
Something like that. It was built out of very, very fine copper wire. And it had a spring scale and a movement, so that when you put the spider on this little hook, it would show an indication on the wall, because it was nailed to the wall.
The spider was nailed to the wall?
The weight of the spider. And I just loved this process of measurement.
Wow.
So that was my beginning point of realizing. But it wasn't that I built the scale. It was enthusiasm from my sisters that just couldn't believe I built this thing. And it was on a micro scale, right? Because it's a spider, so it's absolutely miniature. But because it was nailed to the wall, the finesse and the accuracy was spectacular, because there was no other disturbances.
Right.
And so I could make it as fine as I wanted, and the measurement was absolutely minuscule.
Do you remember how much it weighed?
No, it was just a scale of watt to watt. It was just an indicator, sweep indicator on the wall to show how heavy it was.
Okay.
But it was just total imaginary guesswork. This one's heavier than that one.
You could do relatively, put a ladybug up there.
And thinking about it, I obviously had a lot of spiders in the room, so this is probably an ongoing theme.
Car. Okay, camera safe.
So yeah, my interest in mechanics was fairly large and apparent, and I was offset from my siblings and anybody else in my family in the capability that I was trying to
offset
achieve.
Meaning very different?
I was very different, very different from everyone around me, because I was doing these weird things that no one else was even thinking about.
And where do you think?
And I was serious about them.
But where did it come from, you think? Can you draw a line that?
I just love mechanics. I just love doing silly things that don't make sense.
But it's not that you see an inspiration from your dad or a school.
Coming back to my grandpa again, he had the most beautiful house that I would visit, and he had everything that I would dream of. A lathe and materials and water and marbling, and I didn't like the bookbinding really. I wasn't very into books, but I loved the mechanics of it. And he would take parts from a Messerschmitt fighter plane and use the pneumatics from it for his presses, and just like all these very, very inventive things, I just loved. There just didn't seem to be anything that he couldn't do. He just always had a way of getting through the process, and I just that was what I grew up with. So there was no grumbling. It was just like, oh, that's not working. You just pull this off, and you pull it off, and then you go, wow, there's something under there we got to fix, And so that was generally the purpose.
Did he? Okay, don't turn. Did he recognize your?
Yes.
Yeah, your interest and ability.
He is supportive. Right. When I started doing glass blowing, for example.
Right. Which was when? Like in that context?
That's 1983.
Wow.
When I started doing glass, he was so enthusiastic. He was the only person on the planet enthusiastic. Everyone was like, well, I don't know, Wayne. I don't think that's a very good career move. Is there any money in glass blowing? And all these questions would come down. But he was the only one that was just like blown away. He was so enthusiastic, and I thought, right, yes, he's giving me the flame.
Yeah.
And I'll go with it.
You think it was the incorporating the creativity in this?
Just the adventure. He just saw the adventure, and of course,
saw your passion.
And now I know why. Also, because he used to marble papers, and marbling papers was in Venice, and so it's like Venice was the go-to for the arts.
Right.
And that's why it's so sad today when it's underwater, because it's actually directly connected with my grandfather. It's like he repaired the books from the previous disaster in 1950. From the floods that happened then. In Venice.
Wow.
And so we're going through this whole thing again. It's 10 times worse now, because no one's even prepared for this event. And they probably stacked up a huge amount of inventory and everything in under the waterline, and it got totally flooded out. But his job, when I was a child, was I witnessed him repairing these old muddied books from Venice. and they were spectacular, right? And he would give me stories of how he didn't feel he could get through the process. He didn't feel he'd be able to invest enough time in these thousands and thousands of books that were destroyed in Venice and on piles of mud.
But how can you, like you say, destroyed? How can you?
Well, he was the only person that they could hope for, because he was the one that had all the knowledge of how to repair paper. God. And so he was the paper genius and knew everything about the acid contents and how to, but to do that with every book of 1,000, it was unbelievable amount of work.
Yeah,
he had the team,
but I still can't fathom.
But then they had to make the choice. What is valuable and what isn't. So it was just his, and he could say no at any point. That was what's so amazing about this character is that he did say no a lot. He said, well, I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. It's like, and they're devastated, and they will pay literally anything to get it done.
But he's not a magician.
Not a magician, no.
Yeah.
So I witness this over and over again, that he's the only person capable to do these amazing repairs on books that people really have no hope to find a solution to.
So back to your glass. So did he see? To what degree did he follow where you went, your journey with your glass? Like when I say follow, I mean I don't know when he died and.
He died in 1987, I think.
Did he continue to encourage you in that direction?
Well, we didn't really meet that much because I was on my own adventure, It's always the same in life. When you have the most interesting people, they're the most hard to connect with because they're already doing things that are very, very interesting in their own lives, and you're already doing a full schedule, a calendar of interesting things. So we never get a chance to meet, and that was exactly the scenario. I'd meet with my grandparents, and not just that, but the physical distance also involved to travel there. And then the hospitality fitting in with all these other events. I would meet, I'd stay with my grandparents for maybe a week, and I'd probably see them for 5 minutes in the same house because my grandfather was up at 6:30 in the morning, and I'd see him for his first coffee, and then he was doing whatever he had to do, and I wouldn't see him till the evening. So yeah, really, it was.
But the connection
very, very
was
strange.
set from a younger point, obviously, when you spent more time. And that support,
the aura and the atmosphere and the creativity and the living immersed in his sketchbook was amazing. That was what gave me those indications. So it wasn't so much the person; it was just the environment.
The sketchbook. What kind of things would draw him, so to speak, to sketch?
No, I don't mean in the literal sense.
No,
just in the poetic sense. His house was his life.
I see. Okay.
And he didn't have to go anywhere. And this is what I learned from him. And he said this to me. He said the world will come to your door. You don't have to go anywhere. If you do good things, people will notice you. And that was his philosophy. And it's been written in history so many times. But he said that to me as a real thing. He said, I don't have to go anywhere. The doorbell's always ringing. There's always somebody coming knocking on my door, and I love this process. And it can be a child wanting cookies, or it could be a multi-millionaire wanting a book repaired. Everybody shows up. So he said, yeah, the world is huge, but you don't actually have to go out and find it.
And he was content with
absolutely
keeping close to where he was.
There were other constraints in his life, which were having a wife that's blind. So my grandmother was blind, but she was a spectacle in her own right. She would go around the house extremely confidently like she wasn't blind. She'd march down the hallway and it was just like, wow, that's a blind person? You just didn't know.
Yeah.
Just because she was so confident in what she did. She'd go and fold the sheets, she'd go and do all the house chores. She's blind. Just because of a routine.
Yeah.
And then if you moved anything, you were in
yes,
you were in trouble.
Yes, that's when all hell breaks loose. I mean that's one thing. Order. Did she go blind somewhat later in life?
So she had cataracts and these things, and I'm always kind of like a little nervous of remembering those things because it's hereditary, right? So
Well, everyone gets cataracts eventually.
Yeah, but
if
it's
you live long enough.
yeah. So there's always those issues, but no, you know, we always got fresh bread every morning. It was just like, oh, that's what Grandma does, you know.
Wow.
She's blind, but she'll cook fresh bread. No matter what happens, she'll do it. And there's absolutely no grumbling or anything. It's just, this is what gets done. And then she'd make fresh ice cream too. So it was just like, and the best ice cream I've ever had in the world.
Yeah.
And then I go, you know, I go to Mike's place and I look at all those flavors and I go, you don't know anything about ice cream.
Yeah. Add more sugar. Just add more sugar.
Yeah.
No, these are great memories. My memory of my grandmother making gefilte fish,
Right.
ice cream gefilte fish. I'll take the ice cream, but her gefilte fish and cannella were great. But my dad called them cannonballs. The cannella are supposed to be light and fluffy. Baba Malka made cannonballs. Still, I love them, and I mean, she was. There's Chad.
He's going to drive up the road.
What the fuck are they doing?
Don't wave and drive.
Yeah. Any rumor? Yeah. Don't crash. What are those two guys doing in the car and a camera set up? Yeah. So that was Chad that went by. Yeah, it's our memories. I mean, those foundational memories, I think, from our grandparents are so important. Like, visually and viscerally, I remember sinking when I slept over there, sinking into the bed, which probably should have been thrown out, but you know, because it was so worn out. But I sunk down like it was a hammock.
Yeah,
and
same thing. We had
those things.
Horsehair mattresses, woolen blankets, real cotton sheets, which were stiff. And but a feeling that you really had of these beautiful materials that were really life-saving.
Yeah, just all these memories, like visual, whether or auditory or smell, like all these powerful memories. More from when now we're talking more of my grandparents' place than maybe my home growing up. You know, just because some of them just stick with me, whether it's a garden, food stuff, whatever it was, they're pretty, I don't know, they're deep. They go and I didn't, the support you got from your grandfather, I mean, that, would your grandmother have been part of that too?
She was very different just by her surroundings of what she was capable of. So my grandfather was the dominant voice because he created all the things that she lived within. So I think this is still recording. It is nice. It's going on for 40 minutes. It's like this is a long podcast.
Oh right, we're supposed to check that. And the camera, well, we assume it's still going.
Yeah,
Peter, your film, I can see Peter, he's back there pouring his coffee. Peter, your film's doing great.
The edit.
Yeah. There will be editing.
There's at least 5 cars.
So
one homeless person. And,
we could.
I shouldn't say homeless.
No, we could.
A character.
Someone we didn't recognize who looked a little forlorn. I think
that's a better word. Yeah.
Forlorn is.
These labels are so corrupting. Yeah. We corrupt people by saying that's and we don't really know.
No, and we all do that. The judgments are quick.
Yeah.
And it's and I speak for myself very much. It's just, I guess part of it is training and habit.
I think probably I've been homeless many times, but we don't admit it, right? We just go, I was sleeping on the couch. Yeah, but that's homeless, right? So we shouldn't use these labels because they're absolutely a detriment to other humans.
I think it eliminates further discussion, maybe, and possibilities. Because if
you went up to someone on the street like a realtor and you say, "Are you homeless?" They
Yes, because I can't decide which my 8 homes to live in.
And I saw you sleeping in the car.
Yeah, but it's a nice car.
That was after you had the argument with your husband, right? And so
Well, that's always been my backup plan for years, Wayne. I always thought of houseboats, and then it when I decided, okay, maybe not on the water, it's going to be a van. And I mean, nowadays, of course, if someone's living in a van in the city, they're doing okay because they're not out on a grate.
Yes.
But and there's a whole van culture, like just...
It was a vanguard too, yeah.
Vanguard, yes.
Yeah.
They are the vanguard of something, not necessarily promising. And just, I've seen them now, I tune in, and there's just some areas where they're parked and left alone, and it's this little community of vans or possibly small beat-up mobile homes or little trailers.
Well, it's called a caravan, right? So that's what happens.
Right.
And we're doing this, we're doing it naturally. We're going to be evicted when we get our first forest fire just on the hill here.
Yeah,
it's just like we'll all be living in vans.
No,
and then we'll go, well, are we still homeless? Well, we got our van.
Wait, see, like I like that. They're saying, what did they... See, sorry, I interjected. You see those two young people walking by?
You know
they looked, and you could see the conversation.
Yes.
Looking at the camera, looking at, what's the point? What are they doing? But they kept walking, but there was an interest.
Well, we could put the camera right on the front of the hood and have it pointing at us, and then they'll know that we're doing a podcast or some kind of like event thing.
Yeah.
And she's going to park right on top of my
camera. Keep going. Yeah, I know, that looked a bit...
Well, we could probably turn it off now. I think we've got some little birds going there.
But give it a break.
How many? Yeah.
Yeah.
How many hours do we need?
Okay, I'm with you. By the way, there was before you do that, just because there might be a serendipitous moment. There was a great moment where a seagull flew past. Its shadow went on the wall. But I think the actual bird was there's one, was probably out of the scene. So it landed over there. So I think it was out of the scene, but I love that what's being told in the shadows.
Well, you could always throw some crumbs down there, it'll come down.
No, Wayne, we can't do that.
Oh, you're stimulating.
It's your...
Well, you're setting the scene, right?
I'm trying to let it happen.
It's like all those nature movies where they can't get the right shot, so they just go, damn it, and they throw the food out there.
Did you hear that Wild Kingdom, the old classic? Marlon Perkins, you say, we happen to come across this mongoose and this bear. Let's see what happens. And meanwhile, they've thrown the mongoose at the bear. So all these, what I grew up with thinking, wow, that's incredible. It wasn't. It was so totally deceptive and cruel.
Oh, it is, yeah.
So it's like, oh man. So I don't want to be deceptive and cruel with feeding them muffins, which, they might be good for us, but they're not necessarily good for them, and it certainly isn't good for this film.
No, okay.
Okay, so I grant permission that bring the camera to safe harbor, Wayne.
We got a crow there, but he's not going up, he's going down.
Yeah, okay. I'm willing. Oh, there's one in the foreground by the curve. Let's see, the crow's going to fly off with the door open. Anytime's fine. Okay.
I'll bring it in.
There it goes. Good job. Was it still going?
Oh, yeah.
It's a real treat. Here, I'll have a little bit of muffin.
You too.
It's just because I'm a cake kind of guy. Wait, where's the case is up here.
We are. This is a good bank.
We had a plan.
Yeah.
It fell through.
Okay.
We've been waiting here an hour and this tree's incredible. All the bird life and everything.
Oh, nice. You gonna take some photos?
No, we did a whole film.
Oh, that's
He's been
awesome.
filming. So it was recording, and meanwhile, Wayne and I were doing audio inside. And it's very, very different from what's supposed to happen this morning. And then people walk by. It's been a great experience.
Just that tree, hey?
That tree, you say just that tree, but so many birds, shadows, seeds, the flowers around it. It's such the background, the shadows of all the whole film.
Wow.
So reserve your tickets now.
All right. What, you guys gonna show the film?
We might need a little editing.
Yeah, sure. Sometime. In there.
No, we're gonna cut it down to a minute and a half.
Oh, I
4
see.
hours. Take care, Chad.
You guys.
Oh, that's
We're gonna order pizza.
how fitting is that, eh? Here, this is good. No, wait, you got it all turned off.
Yeah.
Good one, Wayne. On that, now probably all the real great stuff's gonna happen around the tree now that the camera's down. Fuck. Oh, did that? That's great. We should have actually had the audio out there with Chad as well.
Well, the window's open, so it might do something.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Should we continue at this point, or maybe we should? Let's see. Wait, it's
What time are you?
10 after 10:30.
Yeah. So
Should we go tell Peter we've made his movie?
yeah, that's an interesting question. I'll turn this off.